that this album is very clean and pronounced and defined. There's a sharper definition, I think, than in our past works. And we were, that was definitely intentional. We wanted something that sounded more crisp and open, and also maybe something you can just dance to more.
Friends, a teacher, said that phrase, and it just struck me as something really beautiful and very evocative and very illustrating the type of album that we were making and the sort of process and the experience that we were having together. So it's sort of, spectrums can be many things, the different phases in life and the different spectrums on the waveforms of the keyboards and the way the songs look to us visually in colors and that kind of thing. When we first started the band, I used to work on movie sets, so I was working on some movies, and my boss and I went to various thrift stores around Manhattan, and we were collecting things, and at the end of the job he gave me a lot of keyboards, and he gave me this one really, really special drum machine. And at the time I didn't even know how special it was, but it actually became like the foundation of our band. And so I just had 4 or 5 kind of junky keyboards at my house, and it enabled me to invite the girls over to come and play. So, but we all grew up in the 80s, and keyboards, Casios, Yamahas were just a part of, growing up at that time. So it was everybody had them.
I think when you play a keyboard instrument that can sustain a note for that long, you kind of are able to get that drone in a certain way. And when you play guitar and you want that drone, you let one string stay open, and you leave that one string while you're making the chord. But on a keyboard, it's kind of a different mechanism for making that sound, and it gives such a different sound quality. And when we were doing this album, we thought it would be a lot easier to reproduce the sounds using synthetic versions on a computer, but every time that our producer tried to do that, we could hear that the computer was missing so many of these harmonics and overtones that are within these vintage keyboards. And so I think there's, what they were saying, there's this warmth to the sound that is, talk about movement spectrums, it's this full spectrum that you can hear and you can manipulate in such a beautiful way using pedals or EQ or any kind of effect you want, that it's just almost impossible to do that using manipulation of a pure sine wave in a computer.
From day one, we felt very free. We felt very free from any, we weren't following any rules or because we were playing all keyboards, there was no path that we were supposed to do all these things. So I think that that's true with a lot of female bands, that they feel free to be innovative, and I think that that's really important, is just having experimental mindsets when you're making music, so that you're not just, you hear a lot of bands that you can hear they're just trying to recreate something that already exists, which nobody wants to hear. You want to hear something that's really of the moment.
And just not because it's important to have all women in a band, but more because it's just the normal thing. There's especially in Brooklyn, there's so many great bands like Teen and Bad Girlfriend and a bunch of others like Cliffy Swan, who they're all women in it, and it's not even of note. It's not even an important aspect of the band. So that's what I really like about that when we first started, it wasn't normal, and now it's just normal, and it's just a group of friends, and it doesn't matter whether they're men or women or a group of musicians.